And both these players are from the same team, actually. They both represent Team Empire, which is a Russian esports organization. NuttyBunny is a Ukrainian player, while Troeput is a Russian player. We will join the match on Troeput's side. And it is Paladin versus Druid. These both classes are classes that usually don't get representation in tournament formats recently. Especially the decline of the Druid. Oh wow. The bug still remains that I switched sides from NuttyBunny. I have to ask Troeput to re-invite.
Yeah, I have also that I didn't get an invite, so I can only see Troeput's hand. Hand looks decent. There is a big game hunter, there is a true silver champion and a consecration. So against any shenanigans play where you basically innovate something huge out, you have something, and then for more mid-range aggression you have some answers, but there is basically 2 hero powers. And there was a wild growth, so there was some ramp going, and there's actually another wild growth.
Yep, I can see NuttyBunny's hand right now myself. I can actually see both players' hands. That quartermaster in his hand could, in theory, get pretty nice value if you draw into a muster for battle, and that's exactly what happens. So my prediction powers is strong today. If NuttyBunny doesn't have a swipe ready, or some other form of AoE, which usually we don't see, like Starfire or Starfall, which would clear the board as well. It's looking a whole lot like Troeput will be getting some pretty crazy value from Quartermaster this turn.
Yeah, there is a scenario. Well, there was a lot of cards used for that, and this Quartermaster will be happily trade for all that.
Exactly. That usually that very high impact play from Scenarios would have made a significance in favor of NuttyBunny on the board presence, but since Troeput was holding on to that Quartermaster, he got 8 worth of stats just by playing it down, and those 3/3 silver hand recruits were able to just slaughter the 2/2 taunts. It was still left with a very significant board presence. Of course, we now say the swipe. I do think that there's no other play than attacking Scenarios into the Quartermaster, swiping one of those 3/3s, and then possibly wrathing or playing the big game hunter. Nope, only the wrath is really an option, because you want to hold on to that BGH. You haven't seen any booms or anything big like that.
Yeah, I think, well, I don't know, is it like, do you really have to kill that 3/2? It's decent option, but you could also try to save it, but I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's the best, because there shouldn't be anything else you want to rat, except if there is pilot shredders, what actually will be played.
Reporting for duty.
Yep, in hindsight, the pilot shredder would have been a better target for that Wrath, and leaving the 3/2 up would not have been that bad. I could have just gone with hero power, attack the face. But at that situation, he was maybe concerned about a second Quartermaster, or just wanted to make sure that there was no presence on the board whatsoever left. Interestingly though, he goes for the attack to the face with the Scenarios. Well, he could have traded away the Pilot Shredder. Now the Shredder will get great value by going for the 4/4 clear.
Well, if you trade for it, you will for sure lose that scenario. So this way he can actually still trade it for the spawned minion and have it on the table. But as you can see, it's not the best situation, because the boom did come down and you need to do something.
Let's see where the fuck goes into the face. That's not too bad. Actually, getting the upper hand right now as NuttyBunny with his Druid. The only thing that could screw up his plans is if that existing boom bot decides to go for an all-in kill on the Pilot Shredder, or possibly taking out the big game hunter. It would mean that the Consecration actually gets more value, but he decides to not risk it. Opts to go for the Pilot Shredder clear with the 1/1 boom bot. Just a single damage in the Scenarios would be enough to kill it off. And whatever is spawned from the Dreader can still be killed off with the Bloodfin Raptor. Wow, that's definitely not something you want to use your Raptor on. The Bluegill Warrior is actually one of those two ones that would be a benefit, would be a good trade against the Bloodfin Raptor. So we're just gonna see face from the Raptor itself.
Yeah, you don't want to run your... Oh, great. Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. The only reasoning I could see for that is if you're afraid that the Druid somehow buffs his board presence with the combo, and the 2-1 is actually enough to push the damage output from 14 to 18, and that would have been lethal. So he was really afraid of the combo, and with good reason actually, because we see the Savage Roar from NuttyBunny's hand, but there is no Force of Nature right now.
Yeah, I think it's better to play safe. You are in the range of combo like all the time, so you just want to make sure you don't die instantly, because you have decently good cards in your hand. You have Lay on hands, what can basically bring you back from basically almost dead to actually be back in the game.
Yep, completely true. This Black Knight getting amazing value. One of those cards you usually don't even see played in this current meta, because the really only target you can get for it is the Belcher that was just removed. Against this Shade of Naxxramas, that Consecration was pretty much exactly what you needed to make sure that that combo value stays as low as possible.
And that was huge value. You get basically 2 guys for 1 card, and one of them is like really important guy because he's stealth user. It's really hard to remove if you can't do it in the first turn.
Yep, exactly. That the Shade has to be removed when it comes into play, or it will be a great big problem for you in the future. When you think about the options for NuttyBunny right now, he's thinking about an Ancient of Lore, and with the Ancient of Lore he would be drawing cards. Troeput is threatening 6 damage on the board, and 6 damage plus 5 from the hand would be enough to kill off NuttyBunny, but Paladin is famously not so great at doing burst damage, so he's still safe by not healing with the lore and just instead drawing cards. Unlucky for him though, nothing to fit the 3 mana curve or 3 mana slot, so just having to passively use the hero power that turn.
And now comes the train. That Lay on Hands gave so much more steam on the hand, and now this game is like, it's getting really tight.
True, and still trading that 5-4 for a 5-5, one of those reasons once again being the dreaded combo, which you have to make sure that is not a real threat. If he had gone for the face damage with Harrison last turn, NuttyBunny would be at 5 hit points, and Troeput's damage output is still not enough for that. Playing Sylvanas this turn would, in my opinion, be an okay option. But instead he wants to go for the Knife Juggler value with the Big Game Hunter and getting really lucky there. Wow. Just 1 damage.
I think they have nerfed these because every one of the one has 1 damage. So they are basic Knife Jugglers who makes suicide attacks. I don't know.
Pretty much suicide knives. So in fact, this Knife Juggler was great value compared to the Sylvanas.
Where shall I strike?
Yeah. Now this interesting thing is now again really nice whiteboard. But what do you want to play here? You just go low step and you go on heal from play safe.
Make use of all your mana. You get yourself at least something on the board, and that 3/3 actually contests the Druid of the Claw. So it's clear that Troeput wants to go for the long haul. He wants to stabilize as much as possible, and after that try and outlast NuttyBunny.
I must safeguard the land.
His options currently are, well, Eliminate is not even enough to describe the situation where NuttyBunny is. Playing the Sylvanas onto this board is, well, it's not optimal, but at least gives you some sort of body to work with. And of course that Troeput drawing into the owl means that Sylvanas' mind control will just be completely useless.
Yeah. And you can follow it up with your own. Yeah. Just go trade and push Sylvanas and die.
Yeah, the reasoning behind that is probably the fact that you won't get any value out of equality later on. Both players are running so low on cards. There's not going to be a whole lot of swing, so to speak. It's going to be just the burst from the combo, and that's pretty much it. I guess one of those reasons why both these players are comfortable using those AoE cards and situational cards in such a free manner is the fact that they both play in the same team. So I'm guessing they're actually practice partners and know the decks from each player pretty well.
That was close to lethal, but no lethal yet. But you get the Belcher out of this play, but it will be silenced.
Wow, 1 to the face. Now I think you should push 2 to the face. Oh my lord.
Okay,
One
this
off.
Sniperino guy. Oh my god.
There is. That's the sniper juggler right there. You can keeper the 3-2. You can hero power the 1-1, attack the 2-1 with the 3-5, but the Sylvanas is just too big of a threat. It's just too big of an issue. The Savage Roars, double 6 damage, that's 12 plus 8, so 20 damage on the board. 22 with the Keeper of the Grove. That's not lethal, and no matter how you treat this board, the opposing player is either going to have your own Sludge Belcher or just that 5-5 Sylvanas left, and there's no way out for NuttyBunny right now.
Yeah. You basically can run... Yeah, Belcher, it goes for 2 health. You can kill that with your Keeper. Do you have an answer for Iron Peak Owl if you attack down the Silver Hand? Because then you could leave yourself at 1.
You could leave yourself at 1, but then this... Yeah, the owl would still be lethal.
Oh yeah, so you can't, because I can't see his cards, so...
Ah, yeah, ask him to invite him back. Okay, so the first game goes to Troeput, right? I'm marking this up right. Troeput's Paladin gets that one.
Yeah.
Not make any more mistakes. This means that the Russian player is currently ahead. If you can make sure and ask the other player to, once this next match starts, to invite you back, you will get the cards on both sides as well. So, NuttyBunny's options are still Druid, Hunter, and Warrior, while Troeput only has Druid and Warlock. Interestingly enough, both players have brought Druid. Last weekend, when we both were casting Helsinki GG, pretty much all the players agreed that Druid in this current meta just does not work. And both these Eastern European players are pretty much proving us wrong when it comes to that.
Shall be mine. Let the hunt begin.
Okay, NuttyBunny starting hand, Animal Companion, Direwolf Alpha, and Hunter's Mark. The Hunter's Mark is going to get discarded. And the Direwolf Alpha is one of those, you don't really want to play it as a 2-drop, so all of those cards go away, and this aggressive Hunter just wants a 1-mana drop. Versus Troeput's Handlock.
Seems that he did invite me again, and the invite just drops down instantly. So...
Okay, well...
That's a little bit annoying, but we have to leave it. I have to restart my client after this.
Yeah, we'll get you back in order for the upcoming final.
Oh no, I think... Yeah, now it works, yeah. There was
Excellent.
just huge lag on it.
Sometimes the Hearthstone, let's say, features are not quite complete yet. We've seen this happen previously as well. It also means that the player that's currently being spectated cannot be switched without the other player actually inviting you to spectate. So we're hoping that a small detail will get fixed by Blizzard at some later date. Troeput hasn't played anything onto the board by now. He's got the coin, so he's forced to play it out. He does have Double Drake and Mountain Giant, so his hand is still very, very strong. But I don't think it's too big of a problem for NuttyBunny right now. He can just go ahead and swarm the face.
Yeah. I think Troeput is just forced to trade on that No? Okay. Because if he would trade and just Shadow Fire that 1-2, he would basically release some of the pressure, but it's... Because now if there is some like Kill Command and Glaive Suga, that will be huge damage, it will be really hard to survive.
Okay, so Freezing Trap up and another Freezing Trap being drawn. Really bad luck for NuttyBunny. Houndmaster has 2 targets, and there's no reason not to play it now, because of the fact that this Houndmaster is one of those really conditional cards that if it doesn't have a target, it's pretty much always a dead card. Pushing the handlock down to 13 is a bit of a risk because of the fact that now it can tap and give itself 1 mana Molten Giants, but without those activators, which would enable the taunts onto those Molten Giants, it's not that big of a deal. We can see the Sun Fury Protector in Troeput's hand, but opting to not use her yet, instead just going for the more passive Sludge Belcher, making sure that there will be options available for him later on when it comes to those taunt targets from the Protector.
Well, yeah, I think you just don't have anything to basically follow up if you played Sun Fury, and you get the same power body basically on the table, and also you have the 2-1, so this is more persistent for different kind of removals. So I think this is a good play.
Since there was no silence available for NuttyBunny, he's forced to deal with the Belcher the old-fashioned way, using the hero power instead of the kill commands or the quick shots. That Core Rager that he's holding onto in his hand as well from that Web Spinner is going to be a dead card pretty much. You can play it as a 4-mana 4/4, but it's just too slow for it to be any use, really. Getting the 4-mana Mountain Giant, and now instead of a 4/5 body, you get a 4/5 body and an 8/8 body. So the situation is looking a lot better.
Yeah, but you have to trade that 1/1.
Yes, the beast has to be removed. It has to be.
Yeah, now one of those taunts will be easily killed, and you know that it will actually be killed if he wants to, and if there's a silence, you might be in quite a trouble. But if you won't trade that, you are dead for 2 kill commands and hero power, so...
Exactly. Playing Boom on turn 7 after drawing into Boom, it's pretty much a no-brainer with this hand. You could argue for the Freezing Trap, but then they would just use the Sun Fury Protector to proc it back up and get more taunts, so it's not that great value. At 7 mana...
I think in this point, I wouldn't kill that guy with big game. I would play the Molten Giant and just Shadow Flame it. Because you would have still quite a big board, but there wouldn't be anything threatening over there. You can also do it in Sun Fury Protector, but I think if you start pushing damage, you have now 14 damage, so you basically have good 2-turn clock with that play.
Yep, you're right, but if you don't use the big game hunter, then there's not going to be a target for him ever. So it's now or never for the BGH, really. Yeah. And there's the Shadow play into the big game hunter. Or actually, do we see the Shadow flame into Sun Fury Protector?
You will go for Sun Fury.
No, it's into the big game hunter.
Well, it has 1 more toughness, or health, basically. That might be an issue. Stuff like it can help in some point.
Yeah, it's probably because of the fact that the boom bots had not been activated. So he wanted those to deal minimum amounts of damage and leave the bodies up. Of course, we saw that it didn't end up mattering. NuttyBunny had the required amount of damage in his hand.
Yeah.
His hunter was able to tie up the series. Yep, it is now 1-1, where NuttyBunny has gotten the win with Hunter, and Troeput has gotten the win with Paladin.
Interesting that he did want to play that greedy and try to get that Jaraxxus and didn't play that heal bot in any point. He had it in the hand the whole time, and he just valued the chance to win with a little bit more greedy play, so much more.
Exactly true. If he had played the heal bot instead of the Shadow Flame, that would have been still very much winnable. Wow, Force of Nature Cenarius in your starting hand, gonna get thrown out. Actually throwing out the Shade of Naxxramas as well. Wow, that's not something I would have expected to see.
Well, you know that your opponent plays 3 AoE removals, so you might want to get something else, but
Those
I don't
AoEs
know.
would not be coming out early though. If you're able to
Yeah.
put down the shade on turn 2 or turn 3, or even on turn 1 with an interfeit, it would grow way out of reach for those AoEs.
yeah, that's true. Interesting.
What are you fishing for instead of that shade though? Because we see that the starting hand is right now much worse than it would be. If that Ancient of Lore in his hand would be a shade, guess what would be coming down on this turn?
Well, yeah, that or the Emperor. I think it would be Emperor, right? No, actually, yeah, it would be Shade. Ancient, yeah, because yeah, it's that side, yeah.
Yep.
But it's hard to say what he was trying to get. Maybe get the ramp out of his deck, or trying to maximize the like potential for sneakiness or something. I don't understand that play. Actually, now we're not thinking about it.
Yep. I guess we're both on the same scale, so we'll have to move on from there. The
Yeah.
Keeper of the Groves would normally be an okay card in this situation, but the Ancient Watchers, they just do not want to be silenced. So, forced to play the Keeper of the Groves as just 2 damage. That's not optimal to say the least. If there's an Owl in Troeput's hand right now, he can just really clear out the Keeper of the Grove, and it basically would not have done anything. Belcher on turn 5 though, because there is no silence available to Troeput. Not a bad call, not a bad call. His hand is very, very high mana cost right now, so he has to look for ways to increase his board presence without actually ditching out any of his major options.
Yeah. Now it's interesting. Do you use the Siphon Soul? Or do you want to go for Shadow Flame and Mortal Coil just to cycle the Mortal Coil? Because that's not that good card in this matchup.
So many possibilities.
I think the Shadow Flame is a valid option as well, but if you go for the Siphon Soul on the Emperor, you're still...
But basically you get 2 guys out of that Shadow Flame play.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a Druid, so you don't know if you're facing any Ancients of War or anything like that, which would be really big targets for the Siphon Soul. So I guess that's the reason why he's holding on to it for now.
Yeah.
There's a swipe and it gets pretty amazing value immediately. Using the Wrath is... that's a bit suspicious. Maybe he's using it for just 1. Yeah, he's using it for 1 to cycle. This means that
Yeah.
he'll be able to clear the board with the right cards.
Yeah. Yeah, again, I don't think there will be much more situation when you can cycle it and you want to get as much gas in your hand as you can.
Yep. Despite clearing Troeput's board completely, we see the Mountain Giant combined with the Twilight Drake. And that's 12 damage on the board. Of course, the second Keeper will be able to silence the Twilight, and that Wrath cycles it out nicely, but the 8/8 is going to be a persistent problem for you. Innervating for the Druid of the Claw Taunt. I want to see the Taunt instead of the Charge.
Yeah. Taunt.
So you're protecting your other minions in this. You could actually go for the charge as well if you're going for lethal next turn. Yep, that's what he's doing. Because of the fact that the Force of Nature is actually 5 instead of 6. You've got 3 bodies on the board. You've got 14 damage in your hand. And you want one of those minions to survive. If you had gone for the taunt play, then that would have meant that it would have been just destroyed and Troeput would have been left with 19 hit points. Now he's got 15, which means it's not nearly enough to get those Molten Giants out with value yet. And it's still a situation where he has to deal with that with that Druid of the Claw, with this Mountain Giant, in any case. So, very well played.
Well, anyway, if you just play the taunt, because now if you are thinking of signals, okay, he'll go for charge, he most likely have a combo kill me. So this basically tells you that you have to clear the port or just get more health. So if you just go for taunt, you would still actually have a lethal. And I don't know if he would play the injured heal bot in that, but because you would have two attack guys, so they would give you 4 more. So that would be it would be actually yeah.
Now he's 1 off lethal.
Yeah.
So he's got 14 plus 8, and that's 22. You could push your handlock down to 1, but that's the situation where you don't want to push him.
No.
Because at 9 mana, that's Lord Jirax's time, baby.
Yeah. And you have an option to clear, so I think anytime you can stabilize the board against handlock, it's good. Or even if you get the pressure, like you have pressure on the table just a little bit, that's enough, because he has to react. And handlock has quite okay reactive cards, but it's better to just try to force them out, and because you have the combo, it's huge amount of damage. So if you can keep your guys in the table basically 1 turn, you can win the game.
True. These plays mean that he can go for the Shadow Flame or for the Hellfire. The Hellfire doesn't kill off the Keeper of the Grove, and means that you're basically dead, since he went for the tap play. That's 18 damage with the combo, so you're basically forced to use the Shadow Flame. If he had not gone for the tap, then the Hellfire would have been an option as well, leaving the 2-1 up. You're never gonna play the Hellfire in this matchup, not really.
Yeah, that's true. And now we can see just the big guys coming in, and there is the innervate. So if there is, actually, he needs that innervate to go double roar if it's needed. But in any case, it will be most likely not needed. There will be a few big taunts on the table, but like now you can play Ragnaros and taunt it up. What is not the best place, but it's a big body and it does something. You can also go for tap and Molten Giant, Molten Giant and maybe taunt.
Yeah, I think the Ragnaros taunt is actually better because it's got a chance to kill off that Ancient of Lore this turn.
Yeah.
And if he gets the 50% chance on sniping the Ancient of Lore, it grants you a pretty good board position.
That is true, but now we know on the other side there is still one-us, but it's always quite annoying card to see when you have Ragnaros, who is most likely gonna hit it every time because it has his mind of his own.
Yep, but this time Ragnaros does his duty, killing off that Ancient of Lore. Going for Dr. Boom in combination with the Sludge Belcher means that there are a lot of bodies on the board which are able to soak the damage from the Ragnaros, and maybe come next turn you're actually able to kill it off. If there's 2 more bodies left on the board after Troeput's turn, then it means that NuttyBunny is very, very close to having lethal.
Well, yeah, actually, if those, I don't know if you have only 2 bots, then you need to have them hit the rag. No, actually, yeah, it will be enough if you just hit the face for 2 damage. So, yeah.
And the tap goes down as well, which means no Jiraxis. And we're probably going to see the Siphon Soul be played on the Dr. Boom. Because that's the safe play.
No, it seems that it's Hellfire, and
Hellfire.
I don't like this play at all.
Yeah, because now, when those boom bots hit, a single damage is enough to push that Ragnaros down to range for one of those combo trends to take it out, so...
Yeah. So this must hit that boom when you are...
Yeah, it doesn't hit the boom, you're dead. That was really risky. That was... I don't think that was value or worthy of the risk taken. Simply because of the fact that you could have gone for a more safe Siphon Soul onto the Dr. Boom. And then maybe considered using 2 mana for the Dark Bomb to clear out one of those smaller minions.
Yeah, but still there was a decent chance that you are gonna die anyway, because there was the bots and they most likely hit you in the face in at least 3 or 4. So, there was two targets in the second one. So yeah, it was maybe a little bit risky, but I think that was the gameplay where you have more things to actually gain.
True. It was sort of a play-to-win move.
It was a gamble and it backfired. So
So NuttyBunny now leads 2-1, and only needs to get a win from his Patron Warrior. Of course, Patron Warrior against Handlock, one of those uneven matchups again. So if Troeput is able to equalize this series, it'll mean that it'll be Patron Warrior versus Druid, and that matchup is heavily in favor of the Patron Warrior.
yeah, it's actually almost unfair matchup, but it's interesting to see how fast the Warrior can get aboard what basically Warlock have to do something, because some of the times you just play 1/4s and 1/3s and those don't give you enough block, but when you get these like loot hoarders and stuff in the table fast, it's gonna make the block go really fast.
True. And if Troeput is not able to respond to these threats early enough, then NuttyBunny's burst potential is ridiculous, because the fact that Frothing Berserker is in his hand, it's one of those key cards in this matchup. You're usually able to boost him to numbers way above 10 on turns with the Warsong Commander, and it's one of those cards that enables you to do that last push against the Handlock.
Yeah. Interesting, he was trying to fish for maybe execute. Oh, it was execute fishing, and that backfired. He didn't get anything, so he just basically has minions with, well, bunch of different costs. So it's interesting to see what happens next, because most likely this Acolyte will be traded, and then there will be 4 bodies if you just push the commander and coin out the raw thing. So you can make decent amount of damage in next turn.
True, but I believe the better play is to coin out Thaurissan, because the fact that it'll get amazing value, it will be able to trade with one of those mountain giants in the future. And you're still holding on to the Deathspite Whirlwind come next turn. So that combination of Frothing plus Warsong just became a combination of Warsong, Frothing, and Grim Patron.
So it would be pushing the Warlock to 9, well, 11 in that point. So it would be really risky, because there would be molten giants coming in.
Yeah, of course, you won't be unleashing the combo next turn. You'll be unleashing it later, when you're sort of done with the setup, so to speak.
Yeah. But now, basically you are dead if you don't have answers for this board, so you have to go for it anyway and try to clear at least some of the board.
So Warsong, Frothing, let's see, that's 2, plus Whirlwind gets 3 damaging, 5 from the existing minions. If you go for the Fiery War Axe play, which procs the Death Rattle, you'll get 3 to the face. That's not enough. It's not the same as Deathspite. Loot Hoarder by itself would attack for 2 and get the Whirlwind effect for 1 more. So that's 6. 6 plus 2 is 8, plus 2 is 10, 6, 14. I think the damage potential right now is 16 damage. That's not enough.
I think you have to play just that Warsong Commander. You have to play Loot Hoarder, run that Loot Hoarder to that 8/3 Molten Giant, attack to the face or attack to the Taurus, or actually Emperor. Oh, he goes for this. Okay, so this means that you get them. Well, you actually still 1 off.
Well, you base the situation in such a manner that now, if Troeput doesn't handle both those minions, he could be facing lethal next turn. So this is just putting pressure onto the Warlock.
Yeah.
Of course, we see the Sludge Belcher is an okay choice in this situation. And if you remove the Warsong Commander, then the spawns from the Grim Patron will not be a real threat. But there's another Warsong Commander just waiting to be used. The Dark Bomb is definitely one of those cards that you want to use on the Grim Patron.
Yeah.
That's just auto play. After that, do you siphon the Warsong? No, I don't think so. You just go for the Sludge Belcher. Zombie Chow, perhaps?
Well, I don't know if I... Well, yeah.
There's no reason to protect her yet, is there? You'd get 4 hit points from the Mountain Giant, but...
If you would have one more health, it would have one more mana in this, so it would be totally different. Because you could go with Shadow Flame and just clear with that, have 2 guys, and well, basically had 3 guys because you could play the Zombie Chow and use that for clearing everything out. But yeah, now the execute did come, and now there will be some AoE needed.
Yep, true. And then Mortal Coil means that he's trying to soak the damage with the Sludge Belcher, so that the bomb won't be killing anything right away. There we go. This is the Siphon Soul play that he should have done in the last game, if you remember. He's really playing it ultra safe right now. He knows that he was facing a combo deck of sorts in the last facing, and now he's facing a different kind of combo deck. So he's kind of just working out his options, trying to make sure what the best optimal play is. Drawing into his 4th weapon right now is not so great, but on the other hand he gets a whirlwind effect for the future turns, which might be able to save him some critical situations. Warsun Commander, Loot Hoarder, Frothing Berserker onto this board would once again be 12 damage, I think, with the weapon attack.
Yeah. But now interesting thing is, does Troeput just play Rag and taunt up the... well, no, he can actually taunt up also Zombie Chow.
Yep, he could play Zombie Chow and taunt that up. But I guess he doesn't want to give any hit points to his opposing warrior. Just wants to make sure that there's no way he can come back from there. Oh, well.
Yeah, but it would be like, okay, he would be at basically 10 after this run. Well, no, 8. So they would be still have the chance if Rag survives to one-shot it. Of course, we know that most likely it won't be surviving. But there will be now a lot of heavy trading.
Well, if he gets the execute from the Loot Hoarder proc, it means he has a chance.
Yeah.
Frothing number 2, well, it can still be played. There's double Whirlwind as well.
But he don't have mana left. He can only play the Frothing and then attack for...
Oh, yeah, but you've got the Whirlwind from the weapon, from the Despite.
Yeah, but you... Oh yeah, you can activate for 1-2, yeah, that's true. So you can actually still get it and...
Yep, you can still kill off the Ragnaros with your existing Frothing, or even with the new Frothing, since the amount of damage you're doing is so absurd.
Yeah, the new Frothing will kill Rag. Old one who has 2 more attack will most likely go for...
It has to clear out the 2-2. It has to clear out.
Holy crap,
that's a really big Frothing, yeah. Okay, he's going all in. Wow. Actually, that's gonna backfire. With that Hellfire draw, if he had gone and killed off the Sun Fury, it would not have been lethal yet. No targets for Defender Forgus. The Hellfire by itself would not have been enough. And thus, Troeput, simply because of the fact that NuttyBunny did not trade with that 13-3 Frothing Berserker into the 2-2, NuttyBunny takes that handlock victory.
Yeah, I think now other side, the Creed did hit in, okay, like I want to get this win, it's 2-1, I have chance to get in the finals, get those points, maybe compete for that money. So I think there was a little bit like, okay, just let's go for it. Yeah. And that backfired again, so as we can see, greed is not a good thing in Hearthstone.
Yeah, don't be greedy, guys. Keep your plays conservative. It works, it really does.
Yeah, or just play Face Hunter and don't make decisions, just go for the face.
True, but we don't encourage being a Face Hunter here.
Oh, that's true, yeah, sorry.
Okay, well, now that we've got that piece of information out of the way, it's 2-2. This matchup defines which one of the players will be going to our finals of the Hearthstone.fi Monday Night Community Tournament number 31. And be competing for that 10 Hearthstone World Championship points and 50 euros. The loser of this match, of course, does take home 1 HWC point still, but it's not the same as getting 10 now, is it?
No. It's definitely well, fast it counted at least 5 times more, so...
At least one is at least
least.
5 times less than 10.
Yeah. So now we can see the coin basically wild throw to the shade of Naxxramas. That's so strong start, and that's what we were arguing like game before with the Druid that he mulligan away, and now we can see how fast it goes really stupidly high value on
Yep.
the table.
And he's able to also handle the opposing 1/4 Armor Smith before it gets any higher value out of it, just by using that Wrath plus Hero Power combination. There's no rush to use the swipe either. You could have denied 1 more armor with the swipe, but you'd be wasting an AoE, and you really don't want to be doing that.
Yeah, you can go for swipe, but give basically 3 ones or even 4 ones against with this deck. Like, there's a lot of things you have to remove, like Emperor when it hits the table. If there's a lot of cards in the hand, you just have to get rid of it. So
Yeah, and
you
swipe
want
is
to
one of those AoEs that can backfire if the opposing player has got those patrons out, but it's still one of your only few AoEs, so you have to use them. Cycling out that inner edge is actually an okay call in my opinion. In the previous turn, he's still got the 3/2 Acolyte of Pain up. He can try and get value out of it. And since Troeput decided to attack with the Shade of Naxxramas, it's actually it's prone to get removed on the future turns.
yeah, I feel that there's so much pressure that he have to do something for it. But now there's basically, if you want to, you have to swipe the face, yeah. If you want to secure your guy, you want to swipe the face, and it's decent. Basically you get 2 for 1, but he gets 1 card, so...
Well, are you gonna use that swipe later on at any stage?
Yeah.
I don't think you are. That's pretty much the best situation for you to use it. All these 5 mana minions would have been suboptimal for the curve. Even if you'd used their inner vein, you still would have been at 8. So that would have been very clunky. This Taurisan doesn't do that much. There's double Dead Spite, so to utilize those you still need 4 turns. So the mana reduction isn't going to be significant in any way. Yeah, you can play Grom next turn with the Inner Rage and kill off that Shade, but by then, that Shade will have done more than 15 hit points of damage.
Yeah.
About ridiculous Shade sizes, I do think we agree.
Yeah, that's... And now you are facing... Well, you are facing almost sure death, because you can play Chrome, but it doesn't actually do anything.
Yeah, since you can't use the Inner Edge anymore, that
Yeah.
Loathup denied all of that combo action. So, no matter what NuttyBunny does, he's gonna end up losing this matchup against Troeput. Having had the chance to win the whole series in the last game, just by utilizing that monster frothing Berserker, he could have been the player to go forward into the finals, but now, it'll be Troeput.
It was interesting that maybe he did fear that there was anyway a kill on hand or something, that he just have to go for it. But it's really hard when you have played now several hours, like really intense tournament playing, and you have that maybe 15 to 20 seconds you have to make the decision, because when you are playing a Grim Patron you have a lot of math involved, and that's one of the hard things in that deck, that you have to make those decisions really fast, and sometimes they just basically backfire.
Yeah, that rope is so unforgiving. You just have to make sure that whatever decision you make, you try and make it with the time you've got, and sometimes it just doesn't work out. Well, despite that, we wish NuttyBunny future luck and welcome him back into our tournaments. He still goes home with 1 HWC point, and we will be joining Troeput in the finals, where he will be going against Fentiris in just a short while.